Elizabeth Colox, Coordinator of the Harmonization of African Higher Education Quality Assurance and Accreditation Initiative. A privilege to have this opportunity, despite of his tight schedule. This demonstrated, Mr. Minister, your commitment and interest on quality assurance matters, part of your precious time to come to officiate this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that it is indeed an honor to TCU in particular and Tanzania in general to have the opportunity to host the 2023 African Forum. Allow me to remind you that today we are happy to commemorate the 14th anniversary of the African Quality Assurance Network, which was officially founded on 27th November 2009 in Accra, Ghana. So it was just yesterday we commemorated 14 years. And in particular, we at the Tanzania Commission for Universities of the African ideals and the active participant on implementation of quality assurance matters in higher. General of the East African Quality Assurance Network in Tanzania. He was also in our local organizing committee. As in this case, we had to involve Dr. Julius Tweve. Dr. Julius Tweve, please. Thank you very much. I thank you all for working as a team, something that has made this event possible. In a special way, I would like to express my appreciation to Mrs. Maria Juru. Where is she? Maria Juru, thank you very much. From the Association of African Universities for working very close. This was through virtual meeting with the local organizing committee from the beginning to date. Your participation in the meeting was very helpful. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a known fact that quality assurance in higher education requires concerted effort of various stakeholders, both within and outside our area of jurisdiction. I'm happy that this forum has attracted participants from different institutions and who at different capacity in their respective institutions. Certainly, this mix together will bring new ideas on how to enhance quality assurance, especially at the current digital era, and hence enhance the provision of quality university education in our respective countries, so that we promote socio-economic development proportionate with our national development objectives, in particular, and the African continent at large. So far, we are still waiting for other participants, but we are more than 17 countries in this meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, having said those few remarks, allow me to reiterate that we as TCU in particular, and the country at large, are very delighted to have you in our country. Although you have come here for a specific mission, nonetheless, we believe that you will spare some hours to visit some nearby places from your place of residence here in Dar es Salaam, especially during the evening hours after the session. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned previous, my task for now was to give the welcome remarks. I believe that I have done my task, but also I was requested to introduce the high table, and I will start with the representative of the Secretary General, Professor Frederick. Thank you very much. And we have Dr. Ken Hosea, who is a representative of the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology here in Tanzania. And we have our President, Professor Maria Chikote. Prof, can you just wave? Some of the participants, they don't know you. And you will see the Minister, Professor MKENDA, because also he will address the official opening. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Charles Kihampa, the Executive Secretary of the Tanzania Commission for Universities, for those warm, welcoming remarks, and for introducing the high table. The guest of honor, Honorable Professor ADOLF MKENDA, if you allow me some few minutes to at least introduce the rest of the participants in the groups before we move on with the rest of the programs. This meeting, as it has just been mentioned by the Executive Secretary, the meeting has attracted participants from various countries within our African continent, and I believe beyond the continent. We have among us representatives of regional quality assurance organizations, associations, and network. Those who fall under that particular category, could you please stand up? At least the guest of honor can recognize your presence. Those who are representing regional quality assurance organizations, associations. Yeah, thank you. We also have representatives of national councils and commissions of higher education. At least I have seen a few. And those who are coming, vice chancellors, principals, provosts, or heads of academic institutions. You're most welcome. And we also have members of academic staff from higher education institutions, those who are present, both within and outside. I've seen Professor Mruke. You're most welcome. We also have honorable guest of honor. We also have paper presenters, those who are going to make presentations during the day today. Yes, thank you for coming. We also have members of the organizing committee, including myself. Yes, wherever you are, could you please, TCU staff who are attending this session, TCU staff. We also have members from the media houses. Members from the media house, could you please wave? I believe I have touched all the different categories. Honorable guest of honor, allow me now at this juncture to invite Professor Maria Ruisa Chikote, the African president, to give welcoming remarks.
Habari. Thank you. Muito bom dia. This event is multi-language, so I will speak in Portuguese.
Just a minute. I'm sorry, colleagues. Let me make one important announcement. The translations are in 3 channels. Channel 1 is for English, Channel 2 is for French, and Channel 3 is for Portuguese.
Thank you. Sua Excelência, Professor ADOLF MKENDA, Ministro da Educação, Ciência e Tecnologia da Tanzânia, ilustre representante da excelentíssima professora Caroline Ndombo, secretária permanente do Ministério da Educação, Ciência e Tecnologia, ilustre professor Frederick Arma, em representação do secretário-geral da Associação de Universidades Africanas, Esma Senhora Elizabeth Colucci, coordenadora da iniciativa Aqua 3, ilustre professor Charles Kihampa, secretário executivo da Comissão para Universidades da Tanzânia, e por via de si saúdo a comissão organizadora, excelentíssimos senhores presidentes de agências nacionais e regionais de garantia de qualidade da África, esmos representantes de organizações, associações e, em especial, associações em atuação no ensino superior em África, ilustres representantes de comissões, conselhos, unidades de garantia de qualidade das instituições de ensino superior de África, caros representantes de instituições de ensino superior, distinto vice-presidente do Africa One, professor Lamine Gui, por favor. Ele é o meu vice-presidente, peço uma salva de palmas para ele. Caros membros do Conselho Consultivo do Africa One, caros convidados, minhas senhoras e meus senhores, todo o protocolo observado. Muito bom dia a todos mais uma vez. Karibu. Calorosas saudações a cada um. Gostaria de endereçar em nome da Rede Africana de Garantia de Qualidade nesta conferência de 2023. É para mim uma grande honra e prazer fazer esta intervenção no âmbito da abertura deste fórum da Rede Africana de Garantia de Qualidade, aqui em Dar es Salaam, para Moçambique, terra irmã mais velha. Gostaria, nesta senda, de aproveitar esta oportunidade, em nome dos membros do Africa One, para agradecer ao nosso convidado de honra, o professor ADOLF MKENDA. Eu ensaiei muito este nome para não errar, e acho que não errei. Ministro da Educação, Ciência e Tecnologia da Tanzânia, porque apesar da sua pressionada agenda, e ele chegou esta manhã de uma viagem, por isso peço uma grande salva de palmas para ele, dedicou seu tempo para oficializar este fórum. A sua presença nesta sala é um testemunho claro do seu compromisso e do compromisso da Tanzânia e determinação em promover a oferta de um ensino superior de qualidade em África. Por isso, em nome do Conselho Consultivo e dos membros do Africa One, gostaria também de agradecer a todos os organizadores que, de forma expressiva, mostraram o compromisso da Tanzânia com a qualidade da educação em África. Distintos membros do Africa One, juntem-se a mim para dar as boas-vindas aos participantes que se juntam a nós pela primeira vez nesta reunião do Africa One. Na mesma senda, cumpre-me destacar que esta rede tem vindo a crescer desde 2009 e tem continuado a melhorar a capacidade dos membros através das formações no âmbito da garantia de qualidade, programas de intercâmbio de pessoal e conferências. Hoje, temos participantes presentes fisicamente de mais de 22 países de África e de outros países da Europa, incluindo 18 representantes de agências de garantia de qualidade e outras nos acompanhando no formato virtual. O tema do fórum deste ano incide sobre a potencialidade da garantia de qualidade no avanço da excelência no ensino superior num contexto da era digital. Precisamos de nos questionar sobre os nossos sistemas e práticas de garantia de qualidade internos e externos. Se esses sistemas respondem liderado pela digitalização e num contexto de rápidas mudanças e de expansão. Este fórum é mais no meio acadêmico e, sobretudo, na investigação nos diferentes níveis. Neste espaço, preenchemos as lacunas entre as instituições, transcendemos as fronteiras geográficas e convergimos para um objetivo comum: a busca de uma qualidade incomparável no ensino superior. A importância da garantia de qualidade nas nossas instituições acadêmicas não pode ser algo considerado de exagero, mas deve constituir-se como a base sobre a qual
compromise themselves
um futuro melhor e sustentável aos nossos estudantes. O fórum de hoje é uma manifestação do nosso
manifestation of
reconhecimento
our
coletivo
recognition
de que juntos
that together
somos mais
we are more
fortes
stronger,
e de que a troca de
and that
ideias
the
e
exchange of
melhores
ideas
práticas
and good
nos
practices will
impulsiona
come
para novos patamares da realização. Ao embarcarmos nas deliberações deste fórum, encorajo a cada um de vocês a apresentar as suas experiências, as suas inovações e os seus desafios sobre as questões chaves relacionadas com a garantia de qualidade na educação na era digital, na investigação e na formação, em particular nos níveis de doutoramento. Este é um espaço de conversas francas, onde aprendemos não só com os nossos sucessos, mas igualmente com os obstáculos que viemos superando dia a dia ao longo do ano. Através deste intercâmbio
strengthen our institution, which will contribute to a good quality of our education. We give ourselves the opportunity to maintain updated, of which we are talking about the tendencies that we have now, to adapt to the new necessities of our students and to mold ourselves collectively to our education. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear distinguished delegates, invitees, I would like to share that since the creation of this Africa One, we have registered some improvements, we have conquered some things, and this includes, among others, the programs of trainings of higher education assurance, programs of exchange of people in the agencies that we have in the continent, with the competencies of knowledge to manage the institutions, passing the time from coming to be organizations to regulate of these institutions.
Finalmente,
Finally,
mais uma vez,
and once again,
permitam-me
allow me
aproveitar
to take
esta
this opportunity
oportunidade em nome do
in the name
African
of Africa
para
One
agradecer
to thank
de forma sincera e
in a sincere
profunda
manner and
ao
profound
governo da
the
Tanzânia,
government of
representado por
Tanzania,
Sua
which is
Excelência,
represented by Your
o
Excellency,
Ministro da
the
Ciência,
Minister of
Educação e
Education
Tecnologia
and
e a
Technology,
Comissão para as
and the
Universidades
Commission
da
for
Tanzânia
Universities in
por
Tanzania
acolherem esta
to accommodate
conferência
this conference.
e manifestar
I
profundo
would
e
like to
particular
see,
agradecimento
I would like to show a
pela
thanks
sábia
for the
coordenação do
good
professor
coordination
Charles
from the
Kihampa,
Professor Charles
que tornou
Kihampa that
possível
made
este
this
luxo. Peço uma salva
conference
de palmas
possible.
para
Please
ele.
put your hands together for him.
Agradecimentos
I would
especiais
like to also
gostaria
thank
ainda de endereçar
to
a equipe da
to the
implementação
equipe
do
for the
Aqua 3 aqui
implementation of
presente, e a
Aqua 3
ETF
and the
presente
ADS
virtualmente,
that are
pelo
there
apoio
virtually
moral
for the
e
support
financeiro
morally and
no
financially
suporte
to
deste
support
evento.
this event.
Estendo minha mais
I
profunda
also extend my
gratidão a
gratitude
todos os
to all of the
participantes,
participants,
palestrantes, organizadores,
the
que
organizers
dedicaram seu
that
tempo
dedicated their
e
time
conhecimento
and
para
knowledge
tornar este
to make
fórum
this forum
uma realidade.
possible.
Suas contribuições
Your
foram
contributions
inestimáveis
were
para
important
o sucesso
for the
desta
success
grande
of
empreitada.
this big meeting.
Estimo ainda que as
I would like
discussões neste fórum sejam
that the
frutíferas,
discussions
que as
that we're going
lições
to have here, they're going to be
estabelecidas
they're going to
sejam
bring fruits,
que as ideias
and the
partilhadas
ideas here
sejam uma
shared
fonte
are
de
going to be
inspiração
a
para o
source of
avanço
inspiration
contínuo
to
da garantia de
advance
qualidade no ensino
the
superior.
quality in our high
Obrigado
institutions.
e
Thank
votos
you,
que
and I
nos
wish
deixemos embarcar
that we will
nesta
be
jornada
embarked
de
in this journey
conhecimento e
of knowledge
colaboração
and
com
collaboration
entusiasmo
with
e
happiness
compromisso
and compromise
compartilhando
to
a
share
excelência.
with your
Pela
excellencies.
atenção
For your attention,
dispensada, muito
we
obrigada.
thank you very much.
Asante sana.
Thank you, Prof. My colleagues in the organizing committee decided deliberately not to give me the gadget for the translation. Yes, asante sana, Professor. That's what I can say. Yeah. Colleagues, next, let's hear remarks from Professor Olusola Oyewore from the Association of African Universities. Professor, karibu.
Honorable Minister, please kindly permit me to stand on the protocol that has already been established. Yes, my name is Professor Frederick Atwama, and I'm the Director of Research and Programs at the Association of African University Secretariat in Accra, Ghana. And I'm delivering these welcome remarks on behalf of our Secretary General, Professor Olusola Bandele Oyewole. He would have wished to be here with us this morning in person, but other pressing engagements have hindered him from physically being present. But given the importance that he attaches to this forum, he has elected to join us remotely in Accra and to participate in our proceedings virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, Karibuni. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the welcome address to our cherished stakeholders from across the world who are attending this very important Africa Quality Assurance Network Forum here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I wish to express the AAU's profound gratitude to our esteemed partners and collaborators for your long-standing support and camaraderie, and for being physically present here with us today. I also wish to thank our host, the Tanzania Commission for Universities, for the very warm welcome they have accorded us since we arrived. Thank you very much to the organizers of this forum as well. The theme we have chosen for this forum, that is potentials of quality assurance in advancing excellence in higher education in the digital era, is indeed apt, given the fact that a large number of higher education institutions and agencies are taking deliberate decisions to digitally transform their procedures, frameworks, systems, and all the collaborations that they are engaged in to ensure that we are doing things that resonate with 21st century higher education. A thorough understanding of the strategic and effective use of digital pedagogies and infrastructure is necessary for the digital transformation of teaching and learning. Institutions can reach more students, that is, expand access and increase achievement through digital transformation. By implementing open educational strategies, such as the usage of open educational resources and open pedagogies, institutions also play a transformative role in the lives of their students. When offered through a digital infrastructure that prioritizes promoting equitable success through learning sciences, the usage of digital tools like open educational resources can be very potent. Quality assurance of the teaching and learning process is therefore critical for success in this regard. Institutional digital transformation of higher education is now widespread on the continent, although the pace and extent differ systematically across the regions of Africa. A solid understanding of what digital transformation means is essential as is an incentive structure to encourage lecturers to develop innovative teaching methods. Here again, quality assurance of the institutional transformation process is critical for success. Ladies and gentlemen, the need for a high level of digital literacy among lecturers, students, and all stakeholders in the higher education, research, and innovation ecosystem cannot be underestimated in successful digital higher education. However, students and lecturers face clear boundaries to developing digital literacy skills. For example, educators often fail to recognize the digital divide among their students, expecting them to utilize digital tools in the learning process, even when these students may be ill-equipped to engage with these tools. In addition, they possess a deep knowledge of their field. Lecturers also often lack the specialized pedagogical skills needed to teach effectively using digital tools and technologies, while many higher education institutions do not work to mitigate existing digital divides through the digital literacy development strategies. In this context, also, the role of quality assurance in leveling the playing field for lecturers, educators, students, and all stakeholders is very important. African is central to this agenda. Virtual cooperation is the new currency of higher education in the post-COVID era. The planning for this particular forum was almost exclusively done virtually. The need for cooperative approaches to global concerns has been highlighted by the pandemic. There are many chances to improve educational accessibility and inclusion, lower operating costs, establish less hierarchical communication structures, and update current systems and procedures through virtual collaboration. Above all, virtual collaboration can promote more meaningful and long-standing interactions between academics and students, as well as the respective regulatory agencies herein gathered this morning. African's internationalization of curriculum and internationalization of strategies is instructive in this regard. Through educational practices, collaborative attitudes towards internationalization also further facilitate innovation in teaching and learning. Quality assurance of the processes and outcomes of collaboration will ensure sustainability. In the age of generative artificial intelligence, there is the need for African to digitally transform through iterative participative processes to make equitable learning and quality assurance systems our mission, to hone our digital learning skills and to tap into the wealth of knowledge available in the underused learning sciences. It is imperative that policymakers and governments provide learning infrastructure and technology across systems and regions to tackle systematic inequalities at all levels, create strategies for digital literacy programs, develop standards, and support open educational approaches. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the digital era, and we must position African to be responsive to the needs of our diverse stakeholders within the teaching, research, and innovation ecosystem, while ensuring that we are abreast with the latest and best available technologies that enhance our work as quality assurance experts and practitioners. May this forum be full of thought-provoking discussions on how we can advance excellence in higher education in this era of advanced technologies. May we work responsibly, ethically, and transparently to design quality assurance systems and interventions in accordance with what we know about the state of the art. And may African and higher education in Africa at large benefit immensely from our intentionality and our renewed commitment. Thank you very much to all our partners, including Ubrel Global, the European Union, African, the Hacker Team, the African Union, and the Tanzania Commission for Universities, our host. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Prof. Frederick Amar, on behalf of the Association of African Universities. Colleagues, allow me now to invite, once again, the Executive Secretary to invite Dr. Kennedy Hosea, who is representing the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology.
Thank you, Dr. Kasire. Honorable Minister, dear participants, my work is just small to welcome Dr. Kennedy Hosea, representative of the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology in the United Republic of Tanzania. Dr. Hosea, please, you are welcome.
The guest of honor, Honorable Professor ADOLF MKENDA, Member of Parliament, the Minister for Education, Science and Technology of the United Republic of Tanzania, Professor Maria Luisa Shikote, the President of the African Quality Assurance Network, Professor Charles Kihampa, the Executive Secretary of the Tanzania Commission for Universities, Professor Frederick Amar, the Director for Research at the Association of African Universities, today representing the Secretary General, Ms. Elizabeth Colucci, the Coordinator of the Harmonization of African Higher Education Quality Assurance and Accreditation Initiative, HAQAA, representatives of the regional quality assurance organizations, associations, and networks, representatives of commissions, councils for higher education that have been already introduced, vice chancellors, principals, provosts, and other representatives of higher education that are present here today, members of the academic fraternity, the facilitators that have been introduced, members of the press, the organizing committee and the Tanzania Commission for Universities, ladies and gentlemen, na wasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano. Please just say kazi iendelee. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Honorable guest of honor, my brief is only to convey the gratitude from the permanent secretary for this meeting, and also a little bit more introduce. First, let me introduce myself. I'm representing the permanent secretary, but I'm also an important stakeholder to this meeting. I am assistant director for higher education in the ministry, and also a commissioner in the Tanzania Commission for Universities. So this is also quite a good meeting for me. But for now, in order to convey the gratitude from my permanent secretary, I'm going to request the representatives to be standing by their countries so that they are really, the guest of honor can actually know and see. We have 17 countries. I'm going to request, whenever I mention a country, I'm going to request the representatives from that country to stand up briefly so that your photo can be taken. So members of the press, I'm going to start with Uganda. Representative from Uganda, if you are here, please, briefly. Yes, let's give them a round of applause. Oh, only one. Thank you very much, Uganda. Kenya, our neighbors, Kenya. Yes, please, can you get our photo and a round of applause? Zambia, our neighbors, where are you? Zambia, not yet here. Zimbabwe, please stand so that our guest of honor can, thank you very much. Ghana, together with Director Film. Yes, thank you very much, Ghana, for being here. Mozambique, thank you very much. Rwanda, our neighbors, Rwanda, where are you? Yes, please, a round of applause. Malawi, they're coming. Lesotho, yes, most welcome, Lesotho. Egypt, thank you. Eswatini, Kingdom of Eswatini, yes, please, let's give her a round of applause. Niger, is it Niger? Yes, thank you very much, sir, for coming, for attending. Guinea, Republic of Guinea, if you are here, yes, please, let's get his photograph as well. Germany, Republic of Germany. Belgium, yes, thank you very much, our stakeholder. Nigeria, yes, please, thank you, sir. Senegal, yes, thank you very much. Now, honorable guest of honor, the permanent secretary also wished me to say that the program, Cape Verde, yes, Congo, please, Republic of Congo. Yeah, here you are, sorry. And Cape Verde, yes. And Benin, yes, Benin, please. Mali, Republic of Mali. And any other who is not on my list. Any other who is not on my list, please stand up. And can we give them a round of applause? Sorry. Could you mention your country, please? Namibia. Oh, Namibia, thank you very much. And yeah, Namibia, most welcome. And now another, Angola. Oh, please, sir. Yes, most welcome, Angola. Any other that are missing? Yes, Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, please, most welcome. Now, also, I want to convey to the participants and to the African Network a pledge from my permanent secretary of support. The program, when you look at the program, is very well loaded, and the permanent secretary wishes to pledge her support and the ministry's support to whatever outcomes from this meeting. She pledges her support to the Tanzania Commission for University to whatever that comes out. Now, with those few remarks and gratitude, it's now my privilege to invite the Honorable Professor ADOLF MKENDA, Minister for Education, Science and Technology, and also Member of Parliament, to again address this meeting. You're most welcome, sir.
I was fascinated by the protocol of the Director of Ceremony inviting the Commissioner to invite the Permanent Secretary to invite the Minister. Universities probably run a risk of becoming overloaded by protocol that in the government sometimes we are trying to shun away. Anyway. Professor Maria Louise Chikote, the African president, and from Mozambique, Dr. Kenneth Hosea, representing the Permanent Secretary, Professor Fred Yama, from Association of African Universities, Ms. Elizabeth Colucci, I know you are there. This is the name I'm trying to figure out where it is from, but coordinator of the Harmonization of African Higher Education, Quality Assurance and Accreditation Initiative. Professor Charles Kihampa, Executive Secretary, Tanzania Commission for Universities. Representatives of regional quality assurance organizations, associations and networks. Representatives of commissions, councils for higher education, vice chancellors, principals, provosts, and other representatives of higher education institutions, academic communities, media fraternities, ladies and gentlemen. To start with, I have to express my pleasure and the privilege I feel to be here to officiate the opening ceremony of the forum for the year 2023. And I want to welcome you all to Tanzania, and I really hope Dar es Salaam treats you well, and we'll get to enjoy a little bit of what we can offer. Make sure you don't go back with your balance. You can spend all the money around here. I thank the African leadership for choosing Tanzania to be the host of this year's forum. I also commend the Tanzanian Commission for Universities and the Association of African Universities for coordinating this event and making it colorful. I am equally grateful to our collaborators and sponsors of this event, including Global Gateway, the European Union, the African Union, the Harmonization of African Higher Education Quality Assurance and Accreditation Initiative, Obrel Global, Joint AQ Africa, African Continental Qualifications Framework, and the European Training Foundation. As we have been told, this forum brings together quality assurance practitioners from the African continent as well as from other regions of the world. So on behalf of the government, I want to once again to welcome you to Tanzania. Now, I won't make a very, very long speech, but I just want to point out a few things, almost without reading. First of all, I appreciate this initiative of bringing together quality assurance agencies from Africa to work together, exchange ideas, and try to see how we can improve the quality of higher learning institutions in Africa. Because we must admit, first of all, that we have come a long way, but we have a very long way to go to catch up with quite the advanced countries. So there is a huge task ahead of us to make sure that our universities actually catch up with the rest of the world. And more important, we have different experiences and we can learn from each other, from other countries. Some of African countries or other universities are ahead of the rest. We must acknowledge, we must learn from them. And those who are behind have a lot to do to catch up. There are some issues with higher education right now, which is commonplace, spoken everywhere. And I'll try to highlight some of them. And I don't know whether the papers that are going to be presented here will touch upon those issues. One, there's a tension between higher education now in Africa and the labor market. And I think it's almost a global problem, particularly because of mass recruitment of students. And therefore, there is a lot of debate about how can education, higher learning institutions be relevant to the job market, and whether we should tailor everything at our universities to fit the job market. These are issues we need to discuss, because of course, those who go to universities, most of them and their parents expect once they graduate, it will be easy for them to be recruited for employment. At the same time, we cannot risk downgrading the need of imparting critical thinking to our students as they study at the universities. So while we are looking to fashion our education to fit the labor market, we may run the risk of making every academic institution a vocational institution, and forget that we also need to have critical thinking along the way, and also push through frontiers of knowledge which are not necessarily of immediate relevance to the labor market. Now, you as quality assurers, I'm sure those are issues that you will discuss, because they are issues that everybody talk about. Being now a member of parliament, you get those questions all the time, that what do you do to ensure that when graduates complete their degrees, they can immediately be employed. Of course, the issues is two ways. It's just both universities, what the university do, but also how do we organize our economy to create the market. There's an issue, I think, that we need to also think. The number of universities have blossomed, have increased very rapidly. And we are happy that also non-governmental organizations, private institutions, religious organizations and so on, have established universities. This is extremely helpful for us because it offers more opportunities to our youth to acquire university degree. The question is, how do we maintain quality along the way as we increase the number of these institutions? We have to encourage the institutions. We need the expansion, but we need also to maintain standards. There will be, for instance, a tension between maintaining standards of academic, which can be brutal, can end up in discontinuation of studies for those who cannot catch up. And of course, the pressure to retain whoever has already been enrolled because they can pay the fees. Because these institutions also need the money to run. And I think these are matters that you must carefully look at. I mean, and I'm talking a little bit from experience. So there will be that kind of tension. Expansion that goes along, where there's no government bursaries, or maybe students' loan from the government going to an institution which really need that money. And we know the academic life can also be brutal, because you must maintain standards. Imagine somebody is studying to be a medical doctor. And if an institution feels like every student here is a fee, and if you really want to maintain high standards to ensure that there is safety, health for those who are going to be treated, and if the university is not willing to let go of those who are becoming laggard, who can pose a threat down the road, that will be a big issue. And probably we can all think through whether that tendency is common. And along those lines also, the need to recruit staff, incentivize them, and keep them. That's very important for all of us. Now, there are standards. You just don't become a lecturer at the university. We need all of them to be international in terms of quality, in terms of publications, in terms of pushing frontiers of knowledge, in terms of teaching in the class. And you cannot avoid the fact that in certain contexts, the tension will exist between maintaining the standards or compromising the standards so you can retain the faculty, or dishing out promotions so that these guys will stay, and you make sure that when Kihampa comes to comes calling to check, you can show that you have enough professors at your institution so you keep your accreditation. So these are real life issues that I think we must discuss. There was an instance, I'm not going to talk in the details, which really provoked my thinking along these lines, of the tension that we must, our students must get very high GPA like the rest. So if we don't give them GPA like the rest, maybe we'll not recruit more. They have to see that if you come to our institutions, you stand a better chance of getting first class down the road. And when you come to labor market, those who go to private because their parents have means, they still will have means and network of ensuring that those are the people who gain employment more immediately, and therefore downward spiral of quality will accelerate. So the issue of the pressure, genuine pressure of opening access to higher education, mass recruitment of students, will come into collusion with the need also to maintain faculty as not only lecturers who teach in class, but those who spend time doing research. Because your university is not just an institution of transmitting knowledge, it has to be an institution that also produces knowledge. And whether we are going to compromise so that we can have mass number of students, which is very important, but doing that at the expense of having lecturers that are just celebrated high school teachers, because you just go to classroom to repeat and transmit what is already there. There's no time to do research and so on. These are real issues that I think, in Tanzania, I believe in the rest of African countries, we also need to look. There is a fact that there is a rapid technological development in the world. And the good thing about the changes that we are seeing is that you really don't need huge amount of raw material. You just need your brain. Artificial intelligence, for instance. Those kind of things. You just need very bright young men having access to computers. They can do wonders. And therefore, there is also a fact that as universities, we must catch up with the rest of the world. And we cannot afford to be left. To be honest, this probably is an opportunity for us to move and catch faster. Because in the past, you'll need iron ore, you need, those kind of things for you to build a sophisticated economy. But now you can just invest in brain of our youth, and they can push knowledge and actually catch up and even surpass the rest of the world. So there are those areas that we need to work on. And as individual countries, I think it's useful, but what do they say? If you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, you go with the rest. And in Africa, I think we need to go far. Now, those are issues of quality. I'm sure you guys are expert. I'm just touching on issues that probably will want to reflect during your discussions. But let me bring up one more but last issue of importance, of the need to forge collaborative efforts within our higher learning institutions, within each country and across countries in Africa. Because now it's I don't believe you'll have a country with just one university in Africa. Now you have multiple numbers of universities now. But shortage of faculty members is a real thing. And the quality of faculty members also differ from a person to a person. We can harness those faculty members better if we collaborate and also use technology. I was teaching economics at the University of Dar es Salaam, and I have some experience of the beauty of collaboration. When I was appointed the head of department in 2009, immediately I attended a meeting of what we call Academic Board for Master of Arts in Economics for Sub-Saharan Africa. We went to Accra, Ghana. For whatever reasons, it was my first meeting, but the members decided to appoint me the chair of that board. So we are running a collaborative master's program. The students in Accra, in Addis Ababa, Nairobi, Dar es Salaam, Harare, Namibia, all of them together, they share that kind of things. And we will share even examinations. We will take students in one campus to teach, mostly in Nairobi. There was a time we took them to Arusha. And we harness potentials in Africa, both within and those in diaspora, to come and teach. So you'll find somebody who is very good in econometrics, teaching in England, will be recruited to come and teach a huge class somewhere together. And we also had a PhD program, collaborative program. We have University of Pretoria and Cape Town, Dar es Salaam and Nairobi, Yaoundé 2, and I think another university in Cameroon, and Ibadan and Benin within Nigeria. And what we are doing is to recruit students, pull them together. So Dar es Salaam will admit students from all over. I think we had even Ghanaian students, Sierra Leone, and so on. But we also recruit lecturers. We had visiting lecturers from Botswana, from Ibadan in particular. They will come to Dar es Salaam and teach. The programs went very well, and those who graduated from those programs became quite competitive when they went abroad to study. So I call upon Association of African Universities and the rest of us to try to forge that kind of collaboration. During the COVID pandemic, this PhD program also, where students will, when they start to do their elective courses, they are pulled together in one place so that you have wide range of electives you can pick. But also for the collaborative framework to attract lecturers from all over the world actually. But during the COVID pandemic, it was not possible for them to go and stay together. And that's where we harness the power of technology. A lecturer in Accra teaching somebody in Botswana, Namibia, and so on and so forth. And that opens a huge window for us to try to work together. If we don't do this, I know we'll try our best to be nationalistic, to try to compete against each other, but we'll fail to harness huge potential that exists within African continent. I remember one name, for instance, from Kenya, Professor Mwabu, one of the best economists, and everybody wants to get to be lectured by him. And therefore, we'll want him to come to Dar es Salaam, we'll be invited to Ibadan, and so on. We can do that. Europeans are doing that. Those countries are more powerful than us. They're more sophisticated. How can we do the same, this kind of collaboration to work together? There was an initiative of establishing African Institute of Technology with cutting-edge capabilities. And it was named Nelson Mandela African Institute of Science and Technology. The idea was mooted then, and I think by that time Nelson Mandela was mediating conflict in Burundi. And the guy from Cameroon was the World Bank representative in Burundi, will come, fly to Arusha and so on, and try to drum up this kind of collaboration. So the idea is for Africa jointly to build our own Massachusetts Institute of Technology and recruit Africans in diaspora everywhere and build an institution of cutting-edge technology. It didn't work that way. It was supposed to be an institution of Africa, a vice-chancellor from any African country or diaspora, faculty from across the world, mostly our diaspora, and people in, and we should put resources together to build the institution. It didn't work. I think if it wasn't for our fourth president, Jakaya Kikwete, to decide to put money and build the institution, now is in Arusha. It's still a graduate university, still trying to be more international, still pushing to be at the cutting edge, but in a way we lost an opportunity to have an institution that is jointly owned, that will harness all the best we have in Africa and African in diaspora, and everybody else to come and help us to move forward. So I think And that is beyond a little bit of quality assurance, but it's something that will help us to lift our quality. And I think we have a duty to make sure that we try to push, it's particularly in areas of science and technology and medicine, to make sure that we enhance that kind of collaboration. So I want to just keep talking about this, and every opportunity I get to talk to academicians, academic leaders from Africa, I try to move these subjects, and I hope we'll be able to see some of the progress we have. And I think we have some collaborative. I think we have a program running in Pretoria on agricultural economics. Maybe I know a little bit more about economics because I'm an economist. And we have staff moving, a Zimbabwean in Namibia, a friend of mine who is teaching there and so on, and he will come and lecture at the University of Dar es Salaam. But I think we need to formalize and enhance it. It might also be something, when you look at quality assurance, to ask a question: how many visiting lecturers do you have? Are you trying to get them from Africa? Do you put infrastructure to house them when they come here? Is it possible for us to exchange sabbaticals? You want to take a sabbatical? Go to Ibadan and stay there, learn from the great institution that is Ibadan University, and so on and so forth. Okay? As I said, my prepared text wasn't really the big deal, because it was going to repeat exactly what you know, and you know better than I do. Having said all those, it is now my pleasure to declare that the African Quality Assurance Network Forum for this year, 2023, is officially open, and I wish you fruitful deliberation. Thank you for your attention. So, the media wanted me to say a few things in Kiswahili. It's your opportunity also to learn Swahili. I'll make it short. They wrote me a note here. So, okay, nimekuja kufungua huu mkutano wa Wathibiti Ubora wa vyuo vikuu Afrika, na tumezungumza mambo mengi, ikiwa ni pamoja na umuhimu wa kuhakikisha kwamba ubora wa vyuo vikuu unaendelea kubaki vile vile, na changamoto ambazo tunakuwa nazo hasa kati ya kuongeza idadi kubwa ya wanafunzi katika vyuo vikuu na swala la kuwa na ubora, kwamba ukiwa na wanafunzi wengi sana, wahadhiri wanaweza wakajikuta ni walimu tu wa darasani, lakini hawapati muda wa kufanya research. Lakini vile vile swala la kuhakikisha kwamba ajira kwa wanafunzi wetu wanaipata. Kuna swala kubwa sana la kuhakikisha kwamba elimu yetu ya vyuo vikuu inaandaa vijana kuajirika, kujiajiri, kuajiriwa. Lakini swala hilo lisije likasababisha tukapunguza kuzalisha vijana ambao wana tafakuri tunduizi, critical thinking, ambayo inaweza kusaidia vile vile kwa ajili ya kuchambua mambo mbalimbali katika nchi yetu. Tumezungumzia swala la teknolojia ambayo imeendelea sana, na umuhimu wa kuhakikisha kwamba tunafanya kazi kwa pamoja, kwa sababu teknolojia inaweza kutusaidia. Tumetoa mfano wa ufundishaji wa somo la uchumi ambao limekuwa likifundishwa kwa kushirikiana na nchi kadhaa, Tanzania ikiwa mojawapo, na imetusaidia sana kutumia wahadhiri kutoka sehemu mbalimbali. Kwa hilo nalo tunaweza tukalifanya, na mengine mengi ambayo tumezungumza, lakini kwa jumla tumefurahi sana kwa kuweza kupata ugeni huu mkubwa hapa Tanzania, na naamini kwamba mkutano huu utakuwa manufaa makubwa sana. Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. For your information, our guest of honor taught me economics at PhD level. So I'm also an economist. So please do use me. Use me. Yeah, Honorable Minister has delivered a couple of messages, take-home messages. I'm not going to reiterate whichever he said, but allow me to mention 3 take-home messages. The first one, relevance of our universities, given the current rapidly changing labor market. That is one. We need to justify the relevance of our universities. Second, sustainability of our universities in a growing competitive business environment. Our universities are fighting for the same qualified faculties, the same pool of students, the same sponsors, So that is the second message. The third message, collaborations. We cannot claim that we can succeed by working alone. We need to collaborate. Colleagues, in the interest of time, now we are moving on to the group photo and the healthy break. The group photo will be guided by our PRO, where the photo will be taken from, just outside this one, and then the tea break. I'm informed that we have about half an hour to finish these two activities, group photo and healthy break. Yes, and we'll have only two groups. The first one, the high table, and the participants. The second one, these array opportunities. The organizing committee will have a separate group photo with the high table. Karibuni sana, tujifunze Kiswahili pia. Karibuni sana. Nani hajasikia nilichosema? Karibuni sana. Okay, karibuni. Wenyeji naomba tutangulie.
Tunaenda kupiga